Welcome back and Happy New Year. And we're starting off with a banger. This is a 2021 Toyota Prado VXL 2.8 GD6, and it's probably one of the best overall complete packages that you can get. So as I mentioned, this is a 2.8 GD6 diesel, 150 kilowatts, 500 newton meters, mated to a 6-speed gearbox, automatic. Obviously no manual Prados, it hasn't been for a long time. Our loyal followers will know that this isn't actually the first time we've driven this car. We drove it earlier this year. I decided to do a towing test with it. I hitched up our Conqueror trailer to it. If you look, the wheels are actually different. The previous one had a gunmetal grey wheel. This is a diamond cut finish. I actually prefer the gunmetal grey wheels. I think it looks a bit nicer on this color at least. Now obviously this is an immensely capable car. The question is, can it actually be used on trails? Now, the reason I say that, it's a very large car. It's very wide, very long. It's obviously not the size of your 300 series. And the question is, would I recommend someone take this onto the trail? I'm of the opinion this is an excellent tourer for towing caravans, boats, trailers, whatever. So if you're doing a cross-country trip where you're not going to be doing serious trails, I think that this is a great car. The question is, can it also do what a lot of us do over weekends, which is to come do trails? So to test that, like I said, we are at Outtrackpad. It's getting quite busy, so I need to get going. But before we get to the trail, let's hop inside and show you around. This is a very, very pleasant place to be. I haven't driven a new GR300, so I don't know what the most modern interior quality of Toyotas are like, and the touch and feel. Like I said, I haven't been in one Toyota. Come on, please. How many times do I need to ask? But this is extremely good. Everything just feels solid and well built. Leather steering wheel, ash wood trim on the steering wheel, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, an insane sound system. They don't advertise it as like, oh, this is like so-and-so sound system, but it sounds incredibly good. Dual zone climate control, sunroof, conversation mirror is the actual term for it. Gives you a nice view back, and then if you pull it further, sunglass holder, mirrors, even has a little fold out section, which is quite nice. The idea is that if you put your sun visor here, you can extend it. That's very handy. In here, a cool box that actually cools. It's a revolutionary idea. One thing to note though about the cooler box is it's dependent on what temperature and speed of the fans you put the aircon or the air conditioning on. The colder it is and the stronger you've got the fans, the cooler box is. Cooler. You've got your 6-speed automatic, sport mode, comfort, eco, normal, sport and sport plus. Most of the time I've been driving between eco and normal. This section is reserved for your drivetrain and 4x4 control. So you've got your traction control off, which is mostly off, second start. And then another thing to note about this car is it has height adjustable suspension, but it's still based on coil suspension with airbags inside it. So this button allows you to turn the height adjust off. The one underneath it is just set to level. On the right, you've got your multi-terrain select. Underneath that, your crawl, which is for both uphill and downhill ascent control, but it's called crawl mode. And your center and rear diff lock, which is also another added benefit of this car compared to some others. Then you've got your multi-terrain selector, redundancy. And then your high 4 and low 4, this is permanent 4x4. Then in front of you, you've got your media controls on the left hand side and your phone. On the right, all your vehicle display info, your paddle shifters. Then you've got a beautiful brushed aluminium looking gauge cluster that can get super bright or obviously dim it down at night. Obviously a lighter socket, heated and cooled seats. That's a nice feature, especially in December in Cape Town. And a USB port. And then obviously around the back, you've got your rear climate control. This is also a 7-seater and the rear seats are electric. But I think for now, that's enough talk. it's time to do the walk. Usually I get a test vehicle for a few days. I decided to actually take this car on a trip, and long story short, my girlfriend came down from the UK. She was fortunate enough to be able to fly out with everything that's going on, and I told her that we'll do a nice little, I think it was like a 4 or 5 day trip, so not the most insane like bush camping. We glamped. We found a very affordable place in Oudtshoorn in the Schoemanshoek Valley. Ended up just doing it was more of a road trip than like a proper boondoe bash. We did about 1,600 kilometers in total, including the Swartberg Pass, which is a favorite of mine. It's somewhere my girlfriend hasn't been before, so I decided to go show her a different part of the world. The car seriously impressed me. Sitting at 120 kilometers an hour for most of the road, and obviously sections through Barrydale and Ladysmith and Carlethorpe where you're doing 80 or 60 k's an hour. My average, and I will actually confirm it now, over today, or to date now, this is now almost a week later after the trip and having driven the car around a bit. The average is 9.4 litres on 100 kilometers, which I think is very impressive considering the size of a car and the power that it has available. But yeah, so coming back to the trip, it was just, this car was the perfect companion for that trip. Incredibly comfortable on the open road. It was surprisingly planted on a very muddy Swartberg Pass. I've been there twice now this year. First time was in April with a vehicle launch, and every time I've been there it rains on the Oudtshoorn side and it is boiling hot on the Prince Albert side. The drivetrain we know is immensely capable. It's a large vehicle. So the question is, should you take it off-road? And then would you take it off-road? The reason I put it like that, size, but price. I've tried to avoid it as long as possible, but I need to get to the price at some point, because it's quite a crucial part in the car buying process. Last I checked, it's 1.293 million rand for this vehicle as spec. That's a pretty penny. It puts it in the same price bracket. Granted, here you're getting it fully spec'd with its main competitor, the Defender. You only starting at 1.3 million rand. Okay, so I've actually put it in low range now. It's something quite cool. When you put it in low range, a inclinometer shows up on the infotainment display, which is quite nice. So let's put it in. Oh, you have to press the MTS button. Mud and sand. Let's see if I can get up this incline. Okay, that was optimistic without any momentum. So let's try again. I am, I think, doing it from the wrong side, but it's okay. I know where the other people are, they're nowhere near me. So Toyota knows this is a large vehicle, it's no secret, but they at least provide a solution as well. It's got 360-degree cameras, front and rear cameras, but I want to try out the cruise mode. Let's see, cruise mode. Okay, so it tells you have to be in low range. Okay, VC turned off, cruise mode. Okay. Okay, so using the multi-terrain select knob, you can then set the cruise speed. So you can hear it actually fighting itself now a bit. Using the ABS to slow the car down. So I'm actually just going to pull it down to the lowest speed. My foot's not on the accelerator. It sounds very disconcerting, I have to be honest. I think I'm asking a lot from the car here. Going up this incline without the tyres deflated. But so far so good. Okay. So can only get you so far. Crawl has been deactivated. Let's see if I can get it going. Okay. Going down the other side. Works. No doubt about that. I think there's one more obstacle that I want to try before we end off this video. It's nice, very off-camber section, followed by a axle twister of note. Yeah, it might not look that hectic on camera, but according to the inclinometer, okay, so we are at 30 degrees at the moment. Just bear that in mind. I mean, this is my head sort of like upright. So now our car is starting to slide towards. So here comes the axle twister section. Now the car is going to make a hell of a racket. It's going to make a racket as it tries to find the grip. So just bear that in mind. Touchdown! So there you have it, finally, and it has been requested a lot, especially on the previous video, a proper trail test of the new Prado 2.8. Should you buy one? Yes, if this type of car is in your budget, and I realize it is a expensive car, I wholeheartedly recommend this car. I think it looks pretty nice. It's not in your face. Yes, this grille is a bit chromey, but there are solutions for that. You can vinyl wrap it if you really want to. Full LED adaptive headlights, tail lights. At night, even just walking up to the car, there are lights underneath the running boards. They light up, which is quite a cool feature. If it is in your price range, I think you should at least just go test drive one. But yeah, I think it's, having now finally had a chance to thoroughly test it off-road, at least just in a very limited use case. Yes, sand, very limited. If I had even more time and more fuel budget, I would have taken it to every possible type of terrain I could think of. But I've always felt that sand is a good tester of the vehicle systems, and especially with the modern cars that are so electronic, at least in my opinion, and you're welcome to comment below if you disagree. I feel sand is a very good indicator of the abilities and the technical abilities and the drivetrain abilities of a vehicle, because the systems have to do the work. There's no grip. Yes, you can add grip by putting proper tires on it, but the whole point is I test the vehicle as it comes from the factory. And this is how it comes from the factory, and from the factory it is an insanely capable car. So from the SA4X4 team, thank you very much for watching. Comment below what you think of this new Prado. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter. It's where we send out all of our news articles, reviews, new products, gear items. We've got some very cool stuff lined up. It's going to be an insane year for SA4X4. I think we've got some very, very cool trips planned and some very cool brands like Toyota coming on board. We'll link for old towing test video below as well. You're welcome to go check that out. And I think that will, between the two videos, give you a great indication of the overall capabilities of this vehicle. So yeah, from the SA4X4 team, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.